How's it going, folks? My name's Nick. This is Otto, the garden cat, my co-star, and this is the Permaculture vlog. Out early today because I just happened to get out early, so that's nice. It's nice to be out in the backyard garden early, especially when I have to turn a compost pile. So that's what I'm doing today. I was actually supposed to turn it yesterday, but I was feeling kind of under the weather. I had a headache all day, so I was kind of taking a little bit of a rest day. So we're about a day behind on my turning process. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit and what happens if that ends up happening to you too. It's usually not that big of a deal, but we'll discuss it once I get there and see what's going on. And then of course we got to check on the chicks and make sure everyone has food and all that. Let's get started. All right, rain gauge. So this is actually for 2 days because I didn't actually check it yesterday, or not fully. So in the past 2 days we got almost 0.2 inches of rain, about 4.5 mil. So not too much rain, but we had about a 1/4 inch earlier in the week, so that's currently still kind of on track. Typically what you guys are looking for, or what everyone in the world ideally has, is about 1 inch of rain per week. That's kind of the ideal numbers for kind of plant production. You want about 1 inch of rain a week. So it's just something to keep in mind. And everywhere is different, you know. Everything's, if you're hotter there and you have more evapotranspiration, basically the plants evaporating water when the sun's hitting them. If you have more of that, say in an arid climate or desert climate or something like that, you might need more than that, but that's just generally the rule of thumb. If you shoot for 1 inch of rain a week, then you're probably going to be just fine for your plants. That's kind of what they want, about 1 inch. All right, adding the chicks feed into a small bowl of, empty that out a little bit. A small bowl filled halfway full of water, which is basically soaking the feed, making it a little bit more digestible for them. And the big chickens like this too. So if you have chickens that don't love their feed, try soaking it and try fermenting it overnight. That's even better for them. Because all this, it's just grain, you know. It's like when you eat raw grain, you can digest it, but cooked grain, a little easier to digest. Same exact process here. So much feed here, it's hard for me to hold everything. I got everything in one hand, you guys in the other hand. How's everyone doing? There's Mama, her 3 chicks. There's 3 of them. Rooster, other Mama. Everyone seems to be doing just fine. Mama with the chicks, she is fierce these days. She's pretty much attacking me even every time I come in here, which is pretty rare for her. You can see, let's see if she does it right now. Anytime she sees me kind of coming in, she gets a little bit, she kind of comes towards me like she's interested in what's going on, and then she realizes, wait a minute. There she is. You see, she's trying to attack my boots. You see, I'm giving you food for your chicks. Don't be mad at me. So this mom always ruins everything. The mom with chicks comes on over to eat the nice fermented feed, and then that mama is like, nope, this is my feed. I don't want you to eat that. Take their water. So I put the water in here at night because I put the mama and her chicks up about 1.5 hours before the rest of them. I just pick her up. I guess the chicks can't. I made this whole little ramp thing, right? So far the chicks have not been able to figure out how to go up it. And I think that'll change in another week or two when they get a little bit bigger. But for right now, what I do is basically I pick up Mama and put her in, put her chicks in, and then they just kind of find their way. And they just stay in the nest. So I put them a little bit earlier, and then I put the water up there because then they can drink as much water as they want without being fought by one of the other chickens. So I'm actually going to go open the bottom of the pen here because I'm actually going to be turning this compost pile. Let's just take a look at it real quick. Doing really well. Here comes Mama to get mad at me. Look, Mama. I have to wear. Look for your chicks. This is for your chicks. That's for your chicks. Up here. It's up there. Go up there. You just stay down here, Mama. So I'm just going to take this Mama with me when I go open the gate. We'll look at the compost when I get back. Just too much commotion going on. I want to give Mama and her chicks a chance to actually get some food without this Mama trying to attack. Watch out, Mama. Of course, I come down here to open this so she can go out. Now she's right where I want it to be, working. Mama, it's okay. It's okay, I'm a friend. You see that? She pecks at me. She actually will peck at me and put her talons up towards me too. Which is very odd because this is the most loving mama, but that just means she's being a really good mom for the chicks. So I don't really get mad at her for it. Although, it's pretty annoying to have to constantly be attacked every time I come in here. It's not like I've ever done anything bad for her or her chicks. I'm only making sure that she's living. Come over here and eat this food. Eat that food. Call your chicks up. So, here's the compost pile, protected by mama and the chicks. So this will be an interesting turn day. But looking at the temperature, I'm actually below 140 now. So I wait a little bit too long. I would like to turn this while it's still about 140 degrees in the center. And the main reason I think that it's so low is actually because they've scratched. I don't know if you guys can see this, but all of this material that's along the side used to be at the top of the pile, and they've scratched it away. And that's exactly what I want them to do in this system. That's kind of my goal, is actually to have the chickens scratching that away. But I just need to be maintaining it, make sure I'm on top of it, and make sure I actually turn the pile when it's still hot enough. But you know, life happens. I have a headache. I can't come out here. I'm trying to take a rest day, and here we go. So there should be there shouldn't really be any problem. It should still be just fine when I turn it. It should probably get right back up to temperature. And what I'm probably going to do is, you can see all these fresh green food scraps that we've thrown in. That's mostly celery down there. So I might just pull all that when I'm turning the pile and just put it right in the center to give a little bit of that nice fresh green material right in the center of the pile where I want that bacterial population to boom and cause that heat to go back up. So that's probably what I'm going to do when I turn. And other than that, they've pretty much scraped. So usually my first step with turning is to pull off all the top material and set it aside. But they've already done that for me. So all I have to do now is take what's here, which was essentially the center, and I'll put that down there, make my new base. And then after that, I'll take all the material that came off the sides and put that in my center of the new pile. And then the base of this pile right here will end up being the top of the new one. So that's what we're going to be doing. You can see this is a great reason I love integrating the compost when there's chicks. You can see this chick's just sitting right on top of probably the hottest part of the pile, just warming up, enjoying the little heat. Everyone's loving this little heat here, including Mama. Here comes everyone, of course. The whole point of opening it, guys, is so that you guys would leave the pen so I could turn in peace. But I guess that's not going to happen. Listen, Mama, I need to be right here, okay? I need to be here. Look. Go down here. This is a dangerous move. I'm trying to get them out of the way so I can start this process, but Mama's not having it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Mama. 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 Your chickies. Your chickies down here. I think I caught a break. She wasn't so into it at first, but then she kind of accepted that down there is okay. So I'm gonna just start going and see if I can't get this area prepped and start the turn before she realizes that I'm doing it. So this is all the stuff that came off. I'm just actually gonna throw it up. Otto, no. No. Mama. So I'm creating a little airflow base. We have the base there. That's just gonna help promote a little extra airflow towards the bottom of the pile. And now I'm gonna start turning by taking what's now in the center and putting it right on top of that base. And I have to fight Mama the whole time. As you can see here, she's very interested in right where I'm supposed to be working. All right, so do you guys see all that whiteness here? That's likely because I waited too long to turn it. Not enough airflow is getting to the center of the pile there, and that whiteness is likely actinobacteria, and it smells a little bit sweet. A little bit sweet, which is an indication of actinobacteria. So that's basically an indication that it's going towards the aerobic spectrum, but I think I caught it just in time. It's not terrible. It's not smelling gross. It's just smelling a little bit sweet. So pretty good indication that we have actinobacteria in the pile. All right, that's about the center of the pile there. So I'm going to take all that stuff that fell off the sides of the pile and put it right in the middle. If I squeeze it, the squeeze test, guys. Let's see what I'll do. It's hard sometimes when I squeeze it, it goes into my leather gloves, so leather gloves aren't ideal. Let's use all my might. No, actually, I didn't quite get a drop out of there, so I need to add a little bit of water. So I'm actually going to go grab the hose. I'll have it nearby so it's ready to go. And then I'll spray this slightly, and then we'll put the rest on there. All right, so now all the stuff from the sides. And this stuff I will wet down because it's going to need it. So wetting down the pile in the center. I added some celery to the center of the pile. That was here just to help activate all that bacterial life in the middle, help heat this up again. And this is cold water. You should be using hot water, or at least room temperature or ambient temperature water would be ideal. And I'm just right now adding a little bit of moisture to everything else I'm about to put on the pile, just so I don't have to worry about that so much when I get down there. All right, guys, here we go. Compost pile turned with a little bit of a challenge from Mama and chicks. They were constantly right here scratching away when I was trying to turn the pile. Once she got over the fact that I wasn't actually trying to hurt her or her chicks, she was very interested in what I was doing. And that's the really great thing about compost in your chicken pen, is it actually keeps them active because they like to scratch through it. So they're actually staying active, staying healthy. They're finding really good feed for themselves within the compost pile itself and within all that material. And anytime you turn the compost pile, whatever's left below, and especially that soil below that's usually really moist and has lots of good stuff in it, you can see Mama will go through and try to find little critters for her chicks to eat. And she usually does a very good job at that. See if we can't get anything on film right now. Look there, she just found something for him. Yeah, it looks like a little piece of grain or something. Oh, she's chewing something up there. So I think she found like a bigger insect and she's making it smaller for him. You see, they're just gonna find her. And the chicks are actually starting to scratch themselves. They're starting to learn that. Right now she has something, you can see her little tail moving a little bit. That was her calling for him. So yeah, that's the compost. Compost turned. And yeah, it's actually doing pretty well. It shrunk very slightly in size. Originally I probably had it up at 3.5, 4 feet. It's probably more like 3 to 3.5 feet now, depending on where you're standing on the slope. So it did shrink a little bit, but that's pretty normal with piles. It will shrink down a little bit from your initial build because you know, the airspace, the pore space, all that kind of shrinks down a little bit. That's why it's important to have within your pile organic material that are big enough to allow that pore space. So woody material, kind of wood chips, 1 inch to 1.5 inch kind of in kind of thickness and size, just to give lots of like airspace in there. I'm achieving that with a few different things in here. Mainly these kind of wood shavings. These aren't great because they're so thin, you can see, but these work pretty well to give that. And I also put small little branches, sticks, all that kind of stuff in there just to help add a little bit more pore space for me. Yeah, so this pile, I should have turned it yesterday, maybe even a day before. So I actually waited 4 days to turn. I should have done it in 2 or 3 days. between turning the first time, waiting for it to kind of process, and then turning again. But this should be the last turn I have to worry about. As long as my internal temperature gets up to 140 at least and stays there for a few days, this should be the last turn I really have to worry about in terms of killing all the weed seeds and everything. Since I've been talking, Mama has not stopped scratching and looking for things. And the chicks are learning while watching Mama to look for things in the soil. And they're getting much better at it. Before they would just kind of follow her around, but now they actually look for themselves. And I actually do see them scratching every once in a while. So after the turn, we were at about 130 when we turned it, and we're now at about 95. So not too bad. After our first turn, we got down to about 100, so I'm actually pretty happy with that because this wasn't even that as hot, so it's good. Here come the other two back. They must know I'm done and want to see what I've been up to. Rooster's probably going to jump right on top of the pile to claim his high territory, and I'm gonna replace that tarp, make sure the compost pile is nice and covered, and leave these guys to it. So yeah, that's it for me today. It's mainly a compost pile turn today, kind of troubleshooting and talking about what happens if you wait a day or two extra before turning your pile. The reality is not that much happens. You just might have to deal with things, maybe add a little bit more of a starter in the middle, add a little bit of moisture. Just always keep checking your moisture, make sure there's enough airflow, and just make sure your pile is getting up to temperature, and you should be good to go. It's not that hard, guys. All right, well, one more check down here. I just want to show you. Otto wants to say hi. He wants to say hi. Otto's been very interested in the chicks. I actually had to chase him away a few times this morning, so he's probably wanting to get a little bit of his anger out for me making him stop by playing with me like that. That's it for me today. Hope you all enjoyed that. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below. I'm happy to answer any of those, especially regarding to compost. Compost is something I really am passionate about and like doing and like teaching, so please feel free to leave comments and questions below. I've actually gotten quite a few comments and questions from you guys about composting since I started putting out these videos, and that's really great. I really enjoy that, so keep them coming. I'll keep answering them as best I can. Hope you all have a great week if you're in the States. Hope a happy 4th of July for you. I'll probably not be posting a video so frequently on this weekend because I'm sure you all are going to be busy, so enjoy those festivities, and until next time, have a good one.